Soul ties are fun. You enjoy the feeling, the way he touches you, the way she speaks to you, you are enjoying it. It's validating your feelings. So you find yourself like, yeah, I'm in the church, I'm praying, I'm worshiping, but the brother over there, the sex is good. So you're like, it's a risk I am willing to take. Your souls are literally pulling each other. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Divine Clinic. I'm your host Sophia, and I appreciate you for those who have tuned in, who have shared, who have reached out, who have encouraged me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It helps me keep going. It helps me come back here every time I record with an encouragement that somebody's going to be blessed. So I really appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for loving on me. Thank you for encouraging me. I really appreciate that. So today I want to share with you about soul ties. We find ourselves in situations whereby we have like physical and emotional soul ties with people, and however much you try to disconnect from this situation, you always find yourself going back, and most of us don't even understand it because this is something that happened to me. And for the longest time, I did not know that this was an emotional soul tie that I had with this person. So it is something that we often deal with. And because we do not have that understanding of really what is going on, we find ourselves entertaining it. We find ourselves, living with it, like it becoming part of your identity. You know this thing is not good for you, but you keep on going back into it. And you think it's supposed to be part of your life, but it's not. You think that's the way life is supposed to be, but it's not. You go back to toxic relationships. You cannot stop thinking about these people, even when you block contact with them. Even when you like break up, like for example, for people who are in like relationships, even if you break up with this person, you can't stop thinking about them. You think about them every single minute and day of your life. You get so dependent on them that you cannot live without them. But, I'm going to share my testimony, and I hope it blesses you, because this is something I had to come to a realization of and actually work on letting go. Otherwise, it would have ruined my life. But because this is like something that happens to most of us in the church, in the world, everywhere, and we don't understand it, I had to even go and make some research, because it may have happened to me in that way, but your soul tie is in a different form. So I had to go get some notes, put them together so that we can all walk this journey and be helped at the end of the day. So some of the things, one of the definition I had to find and look up is a soul tie refers to a strong emotional or spiritual or physical connection between two people, and often beyond the typical boundaries of a relationship. And this does not only mean a relationship with a man and a woman. It is a relationship with anybody. It does not matter whether it's a man or a woman, but it's beyond. Usually it is beyond the physical boundaries of a relationship. And I know most of us experience these things. You have such a deep connection with somebody and you have no understanding to it. When I was doing my research, some people believe some soul ties are a good thing. And some, I've always known soul ties to be something terrible and dangerous, and I've prayed against it and everything. But as I was doing my research, I even, I came to an understanding that some soul ties are actually good things. But anyway, we will go into that. So I want us to explore what a soul tie is. And as I speak to you, I want you to maybe find connection to my testimony, or even look into your life and find yourself where you're at. That relationship you could be having that you feel is beyond the typical boundaries of a relationship. Because, we meet people, we love on people, we take care of people. We love others more than we love the others. But at the end of the day, you will look into your life and ask yourself, is this a soul tie or is it a normal relationship with somebody? So as I go into my testimony, this is where it all began. When I was when I was around, I think 13 or 14 years, there was this guy that came into my life. He was very smooth coming into my life. He was a nice person. He wasn't living in the same country that I was living. He was in another country. But, we started talking. I think by then we used to use, I think, Skype. And those other things weren't as easy as they are right now. I didn't even have a phone, but we started talking. Now we said hi to each other. But by then, like for some of you who have watched my previous episodes, I was in a relationship with this guy who was like my first boyfriend, and so I didn't pay that much attention to him. But he stayed around. He was there when I experienced my relationship breakup. I talked to him. We were talking. So in the long run, we became friends. We became very close friends, but we had never met physically. So we started bonding over the phone, over the Skype calls, over a lot of things. So communication, but physically we had never met. So we spent years and years talking on the phone, on Skype. We became so close. It became my safe space. Everything that was going on in my life, things that were not good, things that were good. Every time I got something from my dad, this guy was there to listen. He gave me all the time that I needed. So we talked about things that are so sensitive, things that broke my heart, things that happened to me. And guess what? He was a very good listener, and he was always there to pick me up. At some point, I think when I was in high school, in my senior 5, that is when I was probably 17 years, this guy happened to come in Uganda. And I remember that day, I think the first time I saw him, it was, I don't know if it was before my senior 4 or senior 5, but he came to Uganda. And I remember that day I told my parents I'm going to get something from the road. And I had to go sneak around and see him, because finally I was going to put a face on the voice that has been in my ears my whole life. So I lied to my parents. I need yogurt, so I got to go get yogurt. And I had to sneak around for 15 minutes to just say hi, what's up? Oh my God, you're finally here. I ran to the supermarket. That's where we met. He lived very close to where I lived. And we said hi to each other. And we finally met. And I was like, oh my God, finally. And yeah, I started realizing on my end that I was starting to catch feelings for this guy. I was starting to fall in love with him. I recognized these feelings, but it's deep down inside, I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing this, because this was my very good friend. This was a very special person, and I did not want to ruin that. So I started, growing feelings, which I talked about with my best friend at that time at school. But I never really told the guy, hey, listen, this is what is happening. One day, I go home to his place. And I remember that night, I was a virgin. I sleep in this guy's bed. He also slept in the same bed with me. But this guy did not touch me. I was laid there. And on how much I was really connected to this guy, he would have done whatever he wanted to do. And I would have been okay with it. But he did not even touch me. I felt like this is too good to be true. I felt like there is no any way. I have been emotionally attached to this guy, talking to him the way I talk to him. He knows my problems, knows my vulnerabilities. He knows he knows a lot about me, and I've slept in the same bed with this guy and he did not touch me. For me, that was insane. It made me fall in love with this guy. It made me realize that there are good people who are not just after your life, who are not after just sleeping with you, it made me feel like for the first time in my life, there is somebody who considers me before their own desires. Because this guy could have taken advantage of me, but he did not. He knew what things to say and where to touch to just get me into a place I wanted, because he knew too much about my life. He would show up for me before I tell him, like, hey, listen, I am going through this. He would tell me, Sophia, you're not okay. And I wasn't okay. I used to be this type of person, like I would put on a persona and be like, everyone would not tell I'm not fine. But he had a way of breaking these boundaries whereby he would tell me, Sophie, something is going on with you, and something was going on with you. I would sit in this guy's presence, and without saying anything, he would know that I'm not okay. And this felt so good. It felt so good, because imagine somebody just knowing what you want and what you need and giving you exactly that. It was like my emotions didn't have to be like this guy could see me when the whole world wasn't seeing me, when my parents weren't seeing me, when my sisters and brothers weren't seeing me. This guy saw me. Because I didn't have to say anything, he would know. I would walk, and even if I was away from him, this was so weird. But the reason why I call it an emotional soul tie, because physically we had not done anything, but spiritual, emotionally, I would be away from this guy. He's in the UK, I am in Uganda. And he would call me at the right time when I'm breaking down. And would be like, Sophie, it was weird, but it was true. There is nothing that I would go through that I would think is too hard for this guy to talk me out of. I kept enjoying feeling these things. Not that I was acknowledging them before him. This guy was like my safe space, and I had a boyfriend and he had a girlfriend. And I do not even, right now when I talk about it, it sounds ridiculous, but I know somebody who's listening is going through such a situation. You're engaged, but you're like, but this is my safe space. My fiancé or my husband doesn't get it, or my boyfriend doesn't get it. I have to go find a safe space somewhere else. Some are married, but you have a best friend on the side, and you're like, oh, but my best friend gets me in a way my husband does not get me. That is a soul tie. For some of you, you are in a marriage, you're a man, and you have another woman who you run to validate your feelings and make you feel good, make you feel better beyond your husband, beyond your wife, beyond your boyfriend and your girlfriend. So we had created that kind of relationship. And in the moment, we knew it was risky, but we still went ahead with it. So you also have that feeling. You realize, like, by the way I am sharing with this man or woman, why, you have that feeling, but it feels good. So you're like, it's a risk I am willing to take, but you are feeding the soul tie. Your souls are literally pulling each other away from the things that you are supposed to be working with, staying in, and building. There was this place at somebody's house, like it was like a fence. There, those fenced houses. So there was a very beautiful garden where there was a palm tree. And we used to go there, sit and have some time to ourselves. So that particular day, I'm seated there with him, and some of our friends come in, and there was my boyfriend and his girlfriend, and they walk by us and they ask us, oh, but when we saw them, we're like, okay, yeah, you know what? They're going to wonder why we're not home and we're seated here. And we agreed to tell them, like, hey, listen, we forgot the key, or we lost the key. I don't know what we talked about, but it was about the key, like we don't have the key to the house, which did not make sense because we could have waited at the gate or something. But so they walked to us and it was like, oh, why are you seated here? And we're like, we forgot we don't have the key to the house, but we both knew it's not that, but we know, it was a risk we're willing to take. And what was sad about the whole situation is that I was holding the key, and I'm like, okay, so my boyfriend pulls me, and then when he held my hand, the key was in my hands, and he saw it. But everybody around us knew there was this weird connection we had. Like, he saw it and didn't say anything. And we just swept it under the rug and walked back home. But the fact that he had also, even my boyfriend had gotten to that place whereby he had it's like he settled for what this weird connection I had with this guy, because like I said before, you either accept it or walk away. So I was risking everything to just keep around this guy. Did I know it was wrong? Yes. Did I continue with it? Yes. Because first of all, I did not have the knowledge and the self-check I do right now to check on myself, check on my feelings, to check myself, to check the road I am leading. I had no guidance. I was a young girl who had too many feelings, who was being treated a certain way, and I didn't know what to do with it. Now that you know that you have a soul tie, you may be asking yourself, how can I break free? Or how come I haven't broken free from it? Because for some of you, you know it has been a soul tie. And you are asking yourself, how come I've not broken free from this soul tie? How come for all the times I've tried to pull away, I come back in the same place? How come the many times I've fasted and prayed, by the end of the 40-day fasting, you're back in the same place you started. You're back in the same bedroom, in the same emotional place and everything. So I pointed out a few things that I would like to share with you. Hey friend, thank you so much for watching The Divine Clinic. Thank you for staying with me till this moment. Now, if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like, share with your friends, click on the subscribe button, and comment so that the YouTube algorithm will recommend it to the people that may need it. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I pointed out a few things that I would like to share with you. One of the things, you are basically enjoying it. Soul ties are fun. You enjoy the feeling. There is this feeling, the way he touches you, the way she speaks to you. You are enjoying it. It's validating your feelings. It is nice the way they compliment you. The way you enjoy, the way they touch you. The sex is good. So you find yourself like, yeah, I'm in the church, I'm praying, I'm worshiping, but the brother over there, the way they touch me, so you go back because you are enjoying it. It is as simple as that. You are failing to let go. You are failing to walk away because it is very fun, enjoyable, it makes you feel good. And this soul ties for somebody who's watching, maybe it is even too toxic. They beat you. The guy slaps you, disrespects you, but the makeup sex is so good. The words they say to you, they cover up all the pain, so it has become like a covering. You're like, oh my God, this guy disrespects me, but he makes me feel good. The way he apologizes, the way he funds you. He's like, your big fish funds everything. He takes care of you the right way. He buys the good makeup to cover up the wounds that he's putting on your face. So that overshadows what is actually going on. Point number 2 is the emptiness. You are so empty, there is a void in your life that this soul tie, this person keeps on feeling. That you feel like if this person is taken away from you, there is nothing going to be left. So you're empty. So this soul tie has taken the place of God. It has taken the place of the Word of God. It has taken the presence of God. All you do is enjoy the emotional dependence that comes with this emptiness. This guy that I was walking with found me empty. the emptiness of not having my father validate me or see me, the emptiness of friends not seeing me, my mother, my parents not seeing me, all that was the emptiness that he filled. So I held on to the soul tie because he saw me. So that soul tie probably sees you and is filling up a void that you feel like if it's taken away, you're going to stay empty. If this person walks away from your life, you are going to stay empty. So that's why you're holding on. It's the emptiness that is within you. And the last point I want to talk about, point number 3, is that as you start working with this person, praying with them, talking to them, venting to them, they start knowing your patterns. So they know what to do to get you smiling. They know what to do to get you excited. They know the face you make when you're sad. They know the tone in your voice when you're upset. So they say the right things. They touch you the right way because they know you. And they are knowing you from the information you provided because they have been studying you your whole life. And I want to give this example about somebody knowing you so much that they show up at the right moment. This guy knowing that, I wasn't really seen here and there, the information I gave him, everything, because I used to tell him everything. I moved to America, to the States in Massachusetts. I moved here, and that day, because we had a pattern, like I say before, we had a pattern of the way we do things. So he made sure every special moment of my life, he was a part of it because it was important to me. He knew how much I loved my birthday. So he made sure every birthday that I had at midnight, he would call me, text me, and, wish me a happy birthday. And that meant a lot to me because it had been going on for a long time. So when I moved here in the States, he knew that I was going to be lonely. So on the day of my birthday, I'm in the club having a good time. Well, with a few friends because I didn't have a lot of friends. I'm in the club. So as usual, on the day of my birthday, on the night, midnight, I'm in the club. He calls me to wish me a happy birthday like it was the norm. I ran to the bathroom to try and because it was very loud in the club. I pick up the phone call. It was FaceTime. He was in the dark, wishes me a happy birthday as usual. And guess what? I walk out of the bathroom and he's standing right there. He was standing right there. I thought I was making the phone call. He was in the UK, but no, he was standing right there. So he showed up at the right moment. And these are one of the things I held on this situation for so long because I was like, nothing is ever going to top that. He knew my patterns. He had studied me. So he knew what to do when, what to say when. So that I held on to it. So your soul ties most of the times have studied you. They have come in you. They have held on to, they have prayed with you. They know you. They know how you act when they sleep with you. They know how you act when you hear those nice words. So they just basically know you. And that's why it's so hard for you to let go. But you have to break the pattern. Now that you've heard why you are not breaking free from the soul tie, I want to encourage you that you can break free. You can have this thing be in your past and totally break free from this bondage. One of the things I wrote down is first, it is very simple, acknowledgement. That voice you keep on hearing, the inner man that speaks to you and tells you, hey, this is wrong, but you are willing to take the risk. You need to acknowledge that what is happening to you is not okay. You need to acknowledge that the way you act around this person, the risks you take, what is on the line. You need to tell yourself, you know what? This is not okay. It is knowing and reflecting and acknowledging that what is happening to me is not okay. You cannot break what you do not accept is existing. You cannot let go of something that you don't think you have. So you have to go ahead and be like, you know what? Guess what? I think this is a soul tie. I know this is a soul tie. So this is it. I had to acknowledge that what was happening to me wasn't normal. I looked into the patterns of how I behaved and acted when this guy was around. So that one time I acknowledged that this is dangerous. And I did not know by then because I did not have the knowledge I have right now. But I remember one day it was a normal day. I knelt down in my room and I told God, if this is not right, if how I feel is not right, I pray that you will cut off the connection from this guy. Accept that those feelings are wrong, that that's not what you're supposed to be doing, that you're not supposed to be on those phone calls with the person that is not your husband, that brother you are praying with, you have feelings for him and you're in love with him. You need to acknowledge that and be like, okay, you know what? This is not a spiritual connection. This is not a brother that I'm just praying with. I am developing feelings for this boy. You need to acknowledge it. It is not okay. It is not okay. The compliments you give this person, every day you see them, the texts on the phone, all those things, you looking out to them, checking yourself when you're around them, you need to accept that that is not okay. If you have to dress extra special when you're going to meet them, you need to acknowledge that that is not okay and stop it. Point number 2, it's renouncing this soul tie. After you've acknowledged that this is something that is happening in your life, you need to renounce it through prayer. And if you cannot pray, through affirmations. Tell yourself that you release yourself from this bondage. You release yourself from this man. You release these feelings. You release everything that connects you to this person. Through affirmations, you speak that over your life. For the ones that know how to pray, you need to pray. Go with it in prayer. Like I sat down in that room and I told God, I need you to help me in this situation. Because I had pulled myself away so many times, but I always came back in the same place. I came back to feeling the things I was feeling. I came back to wanting this person to always fill the void for me. So I prayed and the Lord answered. And I know He will answer you as well. Point number 3, seek forgiveness and healing. Forgive yourself for falling in love. Forgive yourself for wanting this thing so much. Forgive yourself for enjoying the sex, the makeup sex. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for wanting the affirmation. You're human. Forgive yourself. That's why God always gives us strength that if you go to Him with the Bible says that for a broken and contrite spirit, I will not despise. Break for this thing that is happening to you. Break for you wanting and desiring this feeling so much. David fell before God. And he acknowledged what he was going through. He acknowledged what he has done to murder. It was too much. But God had his prayers. He can hear your prayers as well. You can pray. Don't be so shy to go and pray about it. I wasn't shy. I went and I told him, hey, listen, this guy has been part of my life. But if this keeps on digging a hole in my life each and every day with every action he does, I go deeper with every smile, with every picture, with every touch, with everything. I keep going deeper. So talk about it with God. Pray. He will hear you and He will definitely answer your prayers. Point number 4, set boundaries and cut contact. And try so much because like for some people, cutting the boundaries, setting the boundaries, you see these people every day in church. You can cut the boundary, but you see them every day. And since they don't know what's happening, they'll still come and say, you look beautiful. Draw boundaries. You can easily, because of your personal life, you can easily tell this man or woman, I would really appreciate it if we stop talking like this. Draw boundaries that are going to help you out of this situation. Remember, you're fighting for you. You're fighting for your sanity. You're fighting for a healthy relationship with God. Draw the boundaries. Talk about it. Some of you, it's your counselors. You go to them for counseling, but the way they counsel you, it makes you feel good. So you're falling in love with them, but you need the counsel because you need counsel, you need therapy, you need counsel in whatever they're counseling you in, but you are falling in love with them. Seek healing. Talk about the boundaries. Tell them where not to go. You can address and tell somebody, hey, listen, when you speak to me like this, I don't like it. Don't touch me like this. Some of you you're so afraid of talking about these things that they keep happening to you and you go back. And one thing I hate about soul ties is the guilt it makes you feel afterwards. You look at this man and he says all these things to you and you go back in your bed and cry yourself to sleep. You meet your counselor and after they're done talking to you, the guilt you feel for feeling the way you felt alone by yourself. Talk about it. Pray about it. Draw the boundaries. Cut contact. For those that you know these people are unhealthy for you, cut the contact. For the sake of your soul, cut the contact. Block them, walk away from them, do what you gotta do. If you keep going back to the same toxic thing, break it. Cut the contact. Don't go back to that room. Sunday church, Sunday service, when it's done, walk away, go have some dinner with people that you can, that are accountable to you, that people you can talk to. Fill this void. Because most of the times we attach to the soul ties because of the emptiness, like I said earlier on. So find something to do in that particular time. Replace it. If it has been a Sunday evening or Monday morning, pick an extra shift. Do something. Walk away from it. Draw and set boundaries. Don't go back. Don't ask for rides. You ask for a ride, and as you know, you're listening to this music and this song, before you know it, it takes you into places and you start sneaking into hole to just have a contact with your fingers like children. You sneak around. Set boundaries. Don't ask for rides anymore. And one last point, the most important point, give it time. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. And a soul tie is not going to break in a day or 2 days or a week. Give yourself time. Consistently set these boundaries. For some of you, you're going to set boundaries today. You're going to block them today. And after a week, you are going to call them back again. Soul ties take time. Soul ties take time to break. It's not going to be a period of 1 month setting boundaries. No, set boundaries for a long time and stay with them. Whatever connection you've had, it will finally break. Because with no connection, it will break. With no connection, when you're praying and walking your journey with God, feeling the void, feeling the emptiness, replacing the time you were spending with this man on the late night phone calls, it will break. So, consistently give yourself time, enough time to break it and walk away from it. Don't let this mess up your purpose. Don't let this disorganize you. Don't let the guilt take over you that you can't even go to God to pray. Some of you have already given up on your life. You're saying, this God cannot fix. Every time I walk away, I keep going back. Give yourself time. It will break by the grace of God. If I broke mine, if God helped me break mine, He can do the same thing for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Leave a comment. I may not have addressed everything that concerns soul ties, but tell me your experience. I would like to share it with everyone else. If you want to share it, you can inbox me, send me what you think about soul ties. If you've gone through the same thing and God delivered you, reach out, inbox, and let us walk this journey together. God bless you. I am your host, Sophia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you and see you next time.